I finally have the opportunity to check out the brand new Nothing Ears 2. These are the latest earbuds from Nothing, featuring some improvements over the first two generations that we've seen. The overall biggest improvement that I would probably say is multi-device connect, better ANC, and of course, better sound out of the brand new buds. This is TK, and this is my review of the Nothing Ear 2 earbuds. Let's check them out. Like and subscribe, and make sure you hit that bell icon so that you're always notified to whenever we have new videos on the channel. And here we have the package. It's actually pretty simple. The box itself is very nice. Unfortunately, once you open it, there's no way to reseal it. So this is why I have the actual cover on it, but otherwise it's pretty much straightforward. We got the buds. They're already inserted in the actual case. We have obviously some replacement ear tips, a USB-C, this cable to charge the device, of course. It does charge via not only a USB-C cable here on the side, but it also charges wirelessly from your device. So if you have reverse wireless charging or a Qi charger, this is going to work perfectly. That's going to disconnect directly from the device. We have a few material information here, of course. And of course, you can download the app directly from the Google Play Store and you're pretty much set. Again, keep in mind, we can connect this to up to 2 devices at the same time. Also, it does have that nice little dimple here, which provides me a little bit of a kind of like a fidget spinner. If you ever wanted to have a fidget spinner, it's built into this case. See-through design, you can definitely see everything that's inside on all directions with the exception of the base. That's basically where the battery is going to be sitting in there. The buds themselves have a 33 milliampere battery each, and there's a 485 milliampere battery built into the case. Wireless charging, as I mentioned, and of course we have the USB-C and the reset button sitting here on the left side. Technically, when you open it, well, actually, I guess it's on the right side. The thing to mention is that the serial number is printed over there, and the case is magnetic. The one thing I will say, though, it's a little bit more boxy than some of the other cases that we've seen in the market. But it still fits perfectly in my pocket, and it's been in my pocket with my keys for the last week and a half to 2 weeks. And as you can see, it has not been damaged or anything like that. Still looks and really functions very nicely. When looking at the actual buds themselves, you'll notice that there's that transparent design that goes all around even the actual buds themselves. There's an indicator, a color indicator per the buds themselves, so you know exactly where the buds fit. And they actually fit somewhat sideways. They don't fit straight in. They have to be sideways because the connector, well, we'll go ahead and put it in here. The actual connectors that we have are on the side of the actual bud itself. And of course, it marries to not only the magnet that holds it in space, but it also connects to the actual connectors. Once you have them in there is a little bit LED here. If the batteries are full, meaning the buds batteries are full, it turns on with a white light. If the batteries are actually dead or they need to be charged, it'll turn into red till it turns white. So that's kind of a visual indicator for you if you don't want to look at them directly on the app to see that it actually works or if it needs to be charged. Otherwise, pretty straightforward. Again, the design is very, very nice. We have an 11.6 millimeter driver here. It's a dynamic driver. Supported codec here is AAC, SPC, and of course LHDC, which was also activated in there. Basically means it only works on devices that support it. It also features ANC and of course app control as well, IP54 water resistance, and of course low latency mode with Nothing phones. And as you can see there, it does definitely charge, and it'll blink in here till it goes a solid color telling you that the actual units are charged. I've been using it with my Pixel 7 Pro as well as the Xperia 1 Mark V, and it's been working perfectly. It's amazing, great for flights, great for kind of like an all-around pair of buds that you can wear and listen to great music on them. Let's go ahead and check out the app that's on the phone. Once paired to a device, and when you turn them on, automatically the notification comes on. It tells you basically the battery level on all 3 information. Basically the buds themselves, the right and left, and of course the case itself. If you click that, it'll take you directly into the Bluetooth configuration, which gives you access to the information. Of course, find my device, and of course open the Nothing app. This is available. You could just download it and you just automatically pair it. There's really no need to sign into your account. If you'd like to, you could definitely do that. There's a few options in here as far as settings, high quality audio mode to be able to turn on the LHDC, again, to supported devices. Low lag mode, again, supported currently only on Nothing phones. So essentially it's a low latency mode to be able to make these a little bit more gaming specific. Personalized ANC to be able to customize not only the experience of active noise cancellation, but personalize it to you, to your ears, and of course in-ear detection. If you'd like to turn that on, you can turn on the option in there. Dual connection in here, you can customize the different options that you have in here, and of course turn them on. Once you have that turned on, it does require a restart. Ear tip fit test, this is also again for that good seal so that you get the best ANC experience, and of course find my earbuds if you guys want to be able to do that. There was one firmware update that I did get here, and of course, last but not least, I was able to rename them to TK's Ear 2. From there, you're pretty much set. Same information as far as the actual battery info here. You get all the information that you need. There is a built-in EQ that has some configuration that you're able to customize. I found that balanced works great, but sometimes I want a little bit more bass, so I customize it depending on the audio experience that I want. If your device supports, let's say, Dolby or any additional audio experiences, you're able to customize that there. Although again, you're able to set up your own custom one, and this was pretty much what I wanted to do. I wanted a little bit more bass, a little bit treble, and of course not as much, basically more of a mid balance on the mid bands, and it worked very nicely. And of course you can change it and bounce back to whichever one you want. Under controls, straightforward. There's configured ones that you can change and you can customize on both the right and left ear. The biggest thing I'll probably say is, here's the list. You can basically skip forward, skip back, voice assistant, and decline calls if you want to be able to set that up this way. It is a click option, not a touch option, which means once the earbuds are in your ear, you do need to basically pinch on the side, and that's going to be the experience that you're going to be using to control the media, answer calls, and of course, turn on ANC, turn off ANC, and of course, skip forward and skip back on call. The one big thing I'll say about these buds is that they're small, and they almost disappear when you put them on. So when you have them on, you get a little bit of a chirp almost, letting you know that they connected to the devices. And again, if you have them connected to two devices, it'll connect automatically to the last two connected devices by default. You're able to go into the app and customize which other ones if you want to be able to switch between other devices. But for the most part, if you just turn them on, connect them, and pair them to two different devices, this is how it's going to work. They look pretty good. They really sound pretty nice. Let's go outside real quick and do an audio test directly just to see how these microphones work on the Ear 2s. One of the biggest things that we can notice between the original generation and the current one is the performance, the active noise cancellation, the battery life, and of course the audio. And this is going to be a quick sample of the audio from them using the Pixel 7 Pro, recording on the front-facing camera. So this is a good audio sample from the brand new, the Nothing Ear 2. Now, as you heard there, the audio on them is actually pretty decent. I've been using them to make video calls, phone calls, and of course listening to music for the last 2 weeks that I've had them. I've traveled with them also to New York, which also gave me the experience to see how they actually work on a plane and how does the ANC work when you're trying to deal with an airplane type of an environment where there's that constant sound across the entire flight. But before we jump into that, let's go ahead and talk a little bit about the audio and of course the control. So one click turns on the music as you're looking there, starts the audio. 2 clicks turns it on. And of course, I can just click it one more time, stop it. We have the in-ear detection, so if I turn on the music and I remove, stops the music. Put it back on, starts it on. Very simple, very easy. As I mentioned to you guys, there's also the ability of switching on between active noise cancellation and transparency mode. So if I press and hold, or basically click and hold, you notice it goes up and it changes the mode that you need. And there's 3 different settings that you're seeing there that enables us to actually control the experience that we want. You can go transparency to listen outside, or you could just turn them on off. The seal of the actual buds provides already somewhat of a noise dampening effect to the environment, but it doesn't block the environment. So if you just turn on to normal or to non-ANC mode, or even non-pass-through mode, so that middle selection, you're pretty much going to be able to have a normal conversation with everybody without having to take them out and put them back on. So it's really nice to have these settings. And of course, if you want to turn it back on, press and hold. And you get that, it's almost like, the best way I can describe it is, it's almost like if you had to, like you're getting that sound of basically closing a bottle. So that kind of like, that's the type of sound that comes in your ear, letting you know that you're switching from one mode to the other. And of course, at the end of the day, you're also able to customize your personal ANC experience as well as the intensity of the ANC when you're in high mode or you have ANC actively turned on. So now that I've used them for the last couple of weeks and I've actually been on a flight with them, how have they performed? I'll say that first and foremost, I was surprised with the not only design and the aesthetics of the actual unit, but also the performance. The sound is actually very nice and very rich. You're able to customize it directly within the app. And the reason I like this is because on the Pixel 7 Pro, we don't have Dolby. We don't have a custom EQ that I can customize. You actually have to rely on whatever is provided from the manufacturer. So specifically with Nothing, we actually got very nice configuration, and I know no pun intended there. We're able to customize the EQ and of course use some of the presets that they have in there. So from an audio profile, definitely very nice. And if you would like to listen to bass heavy or basically like dance, EDM, rock, or rap, it's not going to have any problems. And if you want to be able to focus on vocals, there is a preset in there that allows you to do that. As far as basically range and audio performance in that sense, perfectly fine, again, as any other buds on the market right now. I leave my phone in the office here, I go all the way to the other side of the house, audio plays back, controls work perfectly, the Bluetooth connectivity works very, very nice. When it comes down to battery life and ANC performance, I'll probably say the ANC actually works. It's not going to be the best ANC on the market, but it actually does a decent job. It did give me enough of a dampening experience from the airplane noise while I was on the flight to New York, and it did work quite well for that when whatever it's intended. There are other options on the market that'll be better, but it's definitely better than some of the other options in the market as well. So I probably will say is it's going to give you a good experience. It will lower the environment and it will give you that ANC experience. It's not hitting at the $400, $300 to $400 buds. Again, for the price point that you're looking here, this is essentially a really good pair of buds for the price. As far as battery life, and this is where it kind of got me a little bit, got me off guard a little bit, I'll probably say this. Typically, I'm used to using buds for about 4 to 5 hours, and this is typically the duration of my flight from the East Coast, or from West Coast to the East Coast, either direction. And the Nothing buds, for the most part, barely hit that 4-hour mark, like 3.5 hours to 4-hour mark, and then that basically is the crest of basically the experience. And what I mean by this, even if you're not listening to music, if you just have ANC on, meaning you have them in your ear and you just want to dampen the sound down. This is typically something I do when I go to theme parks. I go to places where there's a lot of noise. I don't want to consistently be bombarded with all of that noise. I want to basically bring down the environment by a certain level. These do well. Unfortunately, that also works as if they're working, and they typically will last just about the same. So if you're not listening to them and you're using them for an ANC, this is going to give you about a 4-hour life battery. And of course, the same thing with music. But the good thing about them is that they recharge pretty quickly. So about a 10-minute charge, or put them back in the case for about 10 minutes, I was able to continue the flight and it worked quite well. But you need to be aware of that, so something to keep in mind. If you like to use them one earbud at a time, then there's no problem. You just switch the earbuds and then you're ready to go right away. So I think the experience there is set right there. So would I recommend these buds for anybody looking for a device, specifically like a pair of buds that can give you that well-rounded experience but not necessarily break the bank? I think the Nothing Ear 2 provide a good, well-rounded experience. There are some areas that maybe they can improve in the future, maybe some software updates that can help with the battery optimizations. But at the end of the day, it's a great pair of buds. They look great. It's a great fidget spinner. And of course, they work with your Android device just nicely. I don't have the ability of testing out the low latency mode since I don't have a Nothing phone right now, but if I do pick up a Nothing phone 2, once that becomes available in the US, I'll definitely test these guys out and see how the low latency modes, well, how does the latency mode work there. Thank you very much for the support. Like and subscribe as usual. I'll see you in the next video.